Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
You're listening to the House of Cards on Facebook, YouTube, and BigPatriotRadio.com. All licenses for music and content have been purchased by and for the express use of Big Patriot Radio Networks. All information, opinions, and topics are for entertainment purposes and do not expressly represent the opinions of the show's host and or producer. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Introducing to you.
You're on House of Cards, live on Facebook and YouTube.
It's going down now.
Locked and loaded with the truth.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome. It's another Thursday, another Beaufort County's House of Cards. It is December 4th, 2025. I'm Mike Covert, your host, and we're coming to you live from the Big Patriot Radio studios right here in the great state of South Carolina. As always, I want to welcome everyone watching on Facebook, on YouTube, and listening around the world on BigPatriotRadio.com. That's right. Whether you're in your car, you can stream it live. You see in the upper left-hand corner of your screen over there, that barcode. Just take a picture of the barcode, and that will go onto your iPhone or your Android or your iPad or whatever. And you can always have Big Patriot Radio with you. You can listen live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And if you haven't tuned in, you're missing some of the best music: blues, news, country pop, and classic rock. I want to thank all those folks who are listening in with us since day one. We appreciate you going along with us on the ride. And if you're listening in for the first time tonight, again, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or Big Patriot Radio, we want to welcome you. I invite everybody to like and share the show on your favorite platform. Also, go ahead and you can chat with us during this show. That's right. You can chat with us. All you got to do is go into the chat room of your favorite social media page and talk with us as we're doing the show. If you have questions, we want you to ask. You have comments, we want you to give them. This helps the channel grow and grow and grow by the algorithm seeing that people are interacting with the show. So we'd love to have you be a part of it. Matter of fact, go ahead and if you would, let us know where you're coming in from tonight in your chat room, and that way we'll get those algorithms starting to move already.
Locked and loaded.
Let's go.
Big Patriot Radio. Blues, news, country pop, and classic rock.
We've got a really interesting show for you tonight. We've got a couple of folks coming on. One here in just a few minutes. We're going to talk to our friend Mayor Deckard, who is going to go through some of the investigations ongoing. You may have noticed if you saw it on Facebook or the YouTube pre-screen, little snapshot there talking about hotel scams. She's going to give us a report on that, about the hotel industry. And many or most of us we don't know it, didn't know it, but we've been getting scammed. And we didn't even know it. So more of that to come. Then we're going to have County Councilman Tom Reitz coming in to the House tonight. He's going to set the record straight after a couple of articles have come out. Actually, more than a couple now. It's like 3 or 4 in both the Island Packet Beaver Gazette and Fitz News, oddly enough, that these articles were wholly inaccurate in many forms in their reporting. More on that, and we've got some receipts that we'll put up on the screen along with that. Tom's going to give us all the information and the information to set that record straight. But first, I sincerely hope, since we are the week back after, I guess the second week back after Thanksgiving, we hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving with your friends and family and friends' family. However it was, we sure did here at Big Patriot Radio. We are glad for all those that came big old gathering we had here. And it was great to see everyone. We sorely missed those that either couldn't make it or what have you, those that are out of state and so forth. We wish you were here, but we understand, and it's just great to have that time of year. I also thought I would take a moment. I want to make a public comment about a figure here in Beaufort County, specifically in southern Beaufort County, a businessman, a true friend, a patriot, Joseph Gancio, owner of Joe's Classic Cuts Barbershop. Joe passed away after a battle with cancer Tuesday morning. Joe was 45 years old, and he survived by his wife, Chelsea, and a very young daughter who was his entire world. Rest in peace, my friend.
Introducing to you.
You're on House of Cards, live on Facebook and YouTube.
It's going down.
Locked and loaded with the truth.
All right, and yeah, we that was some shocking news, and hate to even have to do that, but our thoughts are with his family. I understand the funeral is going to be in New York or New Jersey, one of the two, and I think there's going to be the service is up in the New York, New Jersey area. And I believe there's going to be a celebration of life sometime in the future here in the Bluffton area. All right. We brought you a story last year about some achievement rates in Beaufort County schools. Then we brought it again with new data just a few weeks ago. And I wanted to touch on a couple of things here because this is exceptionally important. If you have the means to get to your school board member, we implore you to do that, especially when you hear this information. If you didn't hear it the first time, this is super, super important. We have new data. We shared that data with you, put it up on the screen. This is from the South Carolina Department of Education. It's not research that the school board did or research that we did. This came from the State Board of Education. Specifically in algebra for African-American students, this EOCP, they call it, encourages instruction of the specific standards of critical thinking skills necessary in algebra. It measures student achievement statewide and documents the level of students' mastery of the academic standards for algebra. Again, algebra is now is part and parcel of usual and customary education. When I was coming along, it was not. That was something extra. That was not you have to have this to graduate sort of thing. Anyway, and I do want to remember now the Beaufort County School District has made large promises. They've made large claims and investments to its ongoing commitment to in the event of supporting all students in the STEM. What does that stand for? Science, technical, engineering, and math, I'm assuming, if memory serves me right, in that STEM experience. They have made some very big promises, and it's been a point of emphasis for them. And again, we had data that we showed you specific to African-American students in the algebra column. These results are staggering. We compared Beaufort County to 7 equal-sized districts, similar populations, similar demographics, similar cost of living, similar poverty rates, etc. 7 across South Carolina, not other states, just South Carolina. Now, these results from the South Carolina Department of Education indicated that Beaufort County, listen to this, is dead last in comparison to all districts, those 7 that we compared. This is dead last in the category of African American students scoring all A's, dead last. Scoring all B's. Beaufort County School District is next to last. Scoring A, B's, and C's. Once again, Beaufort County School District is dead last. Scoring D's and F's. Beaufort County School District, African American students in algebra are ranked number 1 because of D's and F's. That is not acceptable. That's just simply not acceptable. This is an urgent and dire, if you will, request for, hang with me here just a second, for people to reach out. This is an opportune time for people to reach out to the school board, and they need to do it now. The time to say, well, let's wait and see how they turn the corner, that has come and gone. That ship has sailed. It's out of the horses out of the gate. You've got to contact them now. And it begs the question, and I'm quite serious about this. It begs the question to the school board members, what percentage of minority students must be denied a quality and effective educational experience before the school board mandates a change? They're dead last in comparison with 7 school districts across the state of similar size, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They're dead last. They're number 1 in D's and F's. What does it take to get that change? I mean, how, and I said this last time, in other words, how much failure do you have to have for county school board? How much failure do you want? How much failure do the black students have to have before the Beaufort County School Board and the Beaufort County School District actually does something? I mean, how much failure can you be? How much fail is enough fail to say we have a problem? With this type of historical data, black and brown students will probably, according to the data, not even qualify for minimum wage jobs. And if they do, that should not be the only option after graduating high school. After 12 years and graduating high school, only to be qualified, if at all, for minimum wage, there is a problem. Minimum wage is not, people are not going to live on minimum wage. If you don't have the skills, there's not a whole lot more you can do except go get more education. Now, we are going to do the same data comparison with Hispanic and Latino students, same 7 districts, same comparisons. We're going to do that to see if there is anything comparable to this here in the very near future. Our students deserve, quite frankly, at the end of the day, our students deserve more than what this is. What we've been seeing here is performative leadership. Our staffs require more than performative leadership. Yes, you hear about it all the time. Teachers not getting paid enough, and that's true. They're getting brought up to where they should be. Amazing. Hard to get a teacher, hard to keep a teacher. Well, not only do the students need more than just performative leadership, the staff does. Our community demands and deserves more than just performative leadership. People don't like to hear this, but I'm going to ask it again. Does Beaufort County school system have a 2-tier education policy in math education? Is there a system for white children and a system for black and brown children? Are white children excelling and we've got black and brown children at the bottom of this comparison? You tell me, school district, school board, do you have a 2-tier system? Why are those students failing? And what are you going to do about it? Anyway, I would say please contact your school board member. And if your school board member doesn't answer you, contact other school board members. You don't have to just talk to yours. Talk to them all. Do whatever you need to do. But contact them. Contact the media. Contact your state legislators. Excuse me. This is, in some ways, in humanity ways, a criminal thing.
Let's go!
The station that keeps it rocking 24/7.
Ladies and gentlemen,
BigPatriotRadio.com.
All right, we're going to be bringing in our first guest. Again, she is a repeat guest with us, and her company keeps an eye out on how our public monies, which, by the way, that's your tax dollar, my tax dollar, their tax dollar, and their tax dollar. That's what public monies are. She keeps an eye on those public monies and looks into how they're spent. The last time she was here was to discuss a FOIA lawsuit she filed against Beaufort County. Tonight, we're going to talk a bit about hotel fees. Hotel fees. And tourists and residents alike have been paying unnecessarily and how you can avoid them. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Deckard to the show. How about that?
Mike, it's been a while. How are you?
It's been a while. I am great. How are you?
Doing well. Always ready to bring you, the latest and how, we're getting hosed on a regular basis.
You're amazing. Just amazing. I used your subject tonight as the color thing on social media, and I got some props for that. And it's, the girl standing in front of hotels, and she's been scammed. And our conversations, we've all been scammed. Now, I've got some things that we talked about, some things you sent me that I can put up on the screen and show. But tell us, how are we being scammed, and what can we do about it?
Sure. Well, first of all, I'm not going to mention any actual brands of hotels. The internet is replete with this type of story because this is actually a nationwide issue. And so much so that the federal government just made a new rule. It's from the FTC, which for folks who may not know what that acronym means, it's the Federal Trade Commission. And they have authority over this issue of fees. So I'm sure many folk in your audience have done things like order tickets online or stay at a hotel. And you think you're paying one fee that's advertised. And then you get your bill and you have all these other fees on it. And that's called, the common name for that is called drip pricing, which makes sense because it's drip. Okay. So they have come out with a new rule that instead of you being shocked and surprised by getting these fees when you either check out or get your receipt online to pay for your tickets, everything has to be shown up front of what's included. Now, as far as these hotel fees go, and some places call them urban fees or resort fees or things like that. These destination fees, which are charged separately from your hotel and your taxes, those are optional fees, at least in the state of South Carolina. And hoteliers should be telling you this when you check out, that you can actually waive that fee and take it off. Of course, I would ask you, Mike, about the percentage of times that you think that guests are being told that when they check out.
Well, I travel a lot, twice.
Have you checked your bills lately?
And well, I seem to, I always check my bills.
Okay.
But I've never really noticed that, and I have never been asked, "Do you want this or not?" Never.
Well, let me tell you the genesis of kind of why this is very prevalent in the industry, and sort of how we came about finding out about it. So, as you may know from your time on county council, there are entities, they're nonprofits, I say that in quotes, that are hired by local governments in South Carolina to do tourism marketing for a particular area. So in the state of South Carolina, there are like 5 big ones that get the majority of taxpayer monies to do this promotion of tourism. And they're the ones that apply to the state. It's called SEPRT, Parks, Recreation, and Tourism, because they can get matching grant money. So in order to get $1 of matching grants, they have to show they have, or say they have, $2 in privately raised money. So for every $2 they say they have, they get $1 in matching money. And in order to support that they have this money, they have to take out a line of credit at a bank. We haven't seen any of these lines of credit used so far. And in case you're wondering, well, how do you know the specific numbers? Well, even though these entities claim they're not subject to the Freedom of Information Act, which you know from your time on council.
They've always said that.
And your difficulty in getting documents, right?
Yep.
As it turns out, and I sent you 2 applications because, we don't talk about anything unless we've got documents to back it up. I sent you 2 applications as examples to show that in order for them to apply for and receive this money, they have to agree.
How's that?
To a FOIA provision. Correct. So you scroll up, you'll see in this example that they had to sign a provision that says that they're subject. There it is. And that's in the applications, and you can just get them from the state. They provide them to you. So we just think it's kind of interesting that the same organizations that refuse to provide documents are more than willing to do so when there's a lot of money on the table.
Yeah. So what does this mean right here? Looking at this budget information, what does this mean right here to us?
So that's the amount of the match money and the amount they're requesting. So you can see it's a double. So they have to come up with the $4 million. In that case, it says source of match funds, private business investment. And then you saw, I presume in the attachment there, all of the, on page, I think it's page 45. Want to skip through all that?
Yep.
Just to kind of show you. And again, these are public documents. So in this case, it says source of the match funds. And as you go through here, you can see all kinds of funds there. So I went to the town of Hilton Head and asked town council, how come town council was listed on there as having been a donor when they actually give accommodations tax monies? The town gives them accommodations tax monies. And apparently that was, and don't quote me on this, I believe it was purchasing a table at one of their events. Okay. And so my question to them was, well, aren't you all already members of the chamber? Because the town has pays for their membership. So why would you be paying to go to an event? Some of this stuff just doesn't, really make sense. But basically, Mike, if you went to one of these events and you paid for a seat at one of these tables, I think it's generally around $85 or something like that, you would be listed here as contributing to these matching funds.
Okay.
Now you can look at the other applications that I sent you, and it tells how they raise these monies. And one of them is from this, they all do this lodging cooperative. And what they do is they have member hotels that charge a destination fee, and then that shows up on your bill when you check out. But I want to read you the statement because once I spoke to the Hilton Head Town Council, the CEO of this particular chamber sent a private email to council where he said it was also noted that hoteliers charge an additional fee per night as part of a destination marketing fee. This voluntary investment by private sector hotel partners utilized for the matching grant program further demonstrates the strength of industry support for marketing Hilton Head Island. Hoteliers understand the importance of investing in a highly competitive tourism landscape, and that commitment allows us to maximize revenues and secure additional funds to invest in destination marketing. This SEPRT grant match is listed in our budget, submitted to the town each year, and made publicly available, as well as in our annual audits. So I replied, when I read that email, I replied to council and I said, would someone explain how fees paid by unwitting guests to partner hotels for destination marketing somehow becomes a voluntary investment by these same hotels to a third party? Further, how the funds can be new a second time and not previously designated for destination marketing when that is exactly why the hotel is charging the guest, right? Simple question, makes sense.
Yeah.
That would be like you pay $2, if it's a daily fee. You pay $2 for a night at a hotel plus tax, because you have to get taxed on that. The hotel sends that to the DMO, the Destination Marketing Organization in your area, and I guess you're a donor. You've made a contribution to this matching funds thing. But in any event, after this whole conversation with council, the Island Packet did an article about the hotel fees, and the same chamber acknowledged that this was indeed an optional fee and that you could ask to have it removed.
Was that the letter from Bill Miles?
No, actually, this was the article. I can actually pull it up if you give me a second.
Sure, because I have his letter, which was rather interesting. I want to show.
Yes, I will actually pull up I'll quote you from their spokesperson. And I apologize, I did not have the article up. I actually thought that you had the article up. So my apologies to you. Let me just read you their comments here.
I do have the Travelers United if you want to get to that later on.
I shall. Destination fees. This is this is a direct quote from Charlie Clark, the spokesperson for the Hilton Head Chamber. Okay. Destination fees are actually not mandatory for guests to pay, despite how they might appear on an invoice or bill. It is at the hotel's discretion to remove the fee from the bill upon a guest request, and most do, if asked, wrote Charlie Clark, Hilton Head Island Bluffton Chamber of Commerce spokesperson. When the fee was instituted, Rob Wells, president and CEO of Visit Beaufort, said that hotels were told to make it clear to staff that the destination fee was optional. Our stance is very clear. Be upfront, he said. If you're going to have to waive it, waive it. And then the article goes on to say the Federal Trade Commission oversees the fees, not state-specific agencies. In May, the FTC rolled out a new ruling on unfair and deceptive fees aimed to create more transparency in the purchasing process for hotel guests. And again, I want to make it clear, it's not unique simply to this particular chamber. This is a statewide. And here's part of the problem, not just that you're walking into a hotel thinking you're going to pay X and you go to check out and you're paying Y. And I think I'll just put this out here for consideration with your guests. If you were checking out at a hotel and there was a bucket that said, please donate $2 a day plus tax to your local direct marketing organization, right. How many people do you think would pay it? Zero, obviously. And there are a lot of other members of these chambers and CVBs, hotels, gas stations, other businesses. Now, do you ever see this fee on your restaurant bill, Mike? Or on your gas receipt?
No.
Now, why do you think that is?
I don't know. Well, I really don't know.
People wouldn't pay it. They would challenge it. But they're so used to doing this when they get a hotel bill because they're so used to this strip pricing. Right?
Very true. Very true.
Correct. So basically, consider this almost like a public service announcement. Now that I have read you the statements from the relevant entities saying it is not mandatory. This is an optional fee. Asked to have it waived. Our position is that there should be an opt-in. You shouldn't have to opt out or try to opt out. You should be able to opt in. So in any event, these entities make millions of dollars, as you saw by those applications, how much this lodging cooperative makes on a yearly basis. But it's borne entirely on the shoulders of guests at the hotel, regular South Carolina citizens, people visiting our area.
Yeah.
And I put forth to you whether you think that that's fair.
No.
No, but we've been around the block, you and I,
Mhm.
with the many, many, many ways that
Yeah.
these entities create revenue. So another thing that came to mind is when, and I'm going to put this forth as a question. So when your $2, which has to be taxed at the hotel, that's state law. They have to tax it. So it's like, what is it? 8 cents. Is that it's eight? It's an eight. The tax, I think, is eight
I
cents
think so.
on
Yeah.
$2 or something. $2.16 or something like that. Yeah, I think it's 8 cents in every dollar. So let's say $2.16. So then the hotel sends the $2. They do what they do with it. I mean, are they expensing it? How are they dealing with it? Right.
Mhm.
They send it to the direct marketing organization in their location. Okay. And that's revenue, right? So
Right.
who's paying the tax on that $2 that got sent along the way?
Hmm.
Oh, that's a great question, right?
That's a damn good question.
It is, because we're talking, again, millions and millions of dollars that
Yeah.
these programs generate on a yearly basis. And, I think it's fair to say that the regular tax-paying South Carolina citizen
Mhm.
has to constantly be responsive to paying their taxes, ever, burgeoning prices,
Right.
grocery store, insurance, a lot of different things. And the burden is entirely upon them to shoulder all the taxes and to do the things correctly.
Yeah.
And it's a heavy burden
You
that
know,
we have to bear.
I take great exception with, I think it was Charlie Clark who you were quoting that most people, decide not to do that. I take I've never, I mean, I've stood in line all across this country in hotels, and I've never had anybody overheard them say, "Would you like to opt out of paying this fee?" And I know it's across the country, as you and I were discussing over emails or whatever. I understand that there are 50 attorneys general who have been, and Nevada is one of the most prominent, that have been just teeing off on this.
Right.
I mean, is this a Ponzi scheme or just a shell
Well,
game?
this is very unfair because if you owned a hotel and you chose not to participate in this program because maybe you didn't think it was fair or right to do this
Yeah.
to your guests or whatever, just didn't do it. I decided I was going to do it. Okay. And you advertise a hotel room for $100 a night, and I advertise it for 95.
95.
Right.
Yeah. Sure.
But by the time my guest checks out, it's not
Mhm.
$95, right?
Yeah, it's
It's very
115.
competitive. The other side of it is that the way that the destination marketing fee is taxed, and don't forget it's a daily fee. So it's
Mhm.
not just the one time, it's a daily fee as long as you're staying at the hotel. So it gets taxed at a lower rate than it would be if it was a part of the room rate. So local governments in the state are missing out on revenue that could be going towards very, very worthy projects
Yeah.
because they're not getting taxed at the destination fee is getting taxed at a lower rate. So in every aspect, it's created just this very murky kind of landmine where the consumer is consistently having to kind of run interference with things like this. I'll tell you, I was going on a business trip to Charleston, and I called a local hotel because I saw the destination fee. They now have to be posted on their website, and some just included in their resort fee, and some break it out, and some don't even post it. But this one had it posted, so I called the front desk and I said, I don't want to pay that. What is it? What kind of fee is it? And they said, it's some kind of a city tax. Because you know how the turnover is
Absolutely.
in the service industry. So, you train one person one day, they're gone the next week, and somebody else comes in. So the guest is just not getting reliable information unless they want to pick up a copy of the Island Packet and read what Charlie Clark has to say, and then take that with them and show them at every hotel they check into. I mean, it's definitely an issue that, again, I know you wanted to talk about it, as did I. So we can make our fellow citizens aware that this is going on and that they don't have to pay it. And they should ask to have it waived.
And what they would say is the resort fee or the DMO fee. Is that how would Joe America or Jane America go in to the Hilton Garden Inn and say, hey, I don't want to pay for.
I just say, this is, but understand it's an optional fee and I'm asking to have it waived. I will tell you, this is kind of interesting. We had gotten some emails that came along with these applications, and there was a conversation. I'm just going to read it to you.
Yeah.
An enterprising reporter in 2019 asked what the source was for, said, I'm working on a story on several state budget provisos, including one, which is Proviso 49.2, that requires organizations receiving destination-specific tourism program grants from SCPRT that matches each state dollar with $2 of private funds. My question is, can you email me a list of every business or organization entity that provided a match under this proviso? So this was the response. These were the internal emails that these organizations were talking about. And this is what they initially came up with. This is from one, I'm not going to say which one. This is their I call them the Big Five in South Carolina.
And these are all public documents, right?
All public documents. We raised the matching funds privately from about 24 partner hotels that have a voluntary charge on each occupied room. This charge is totally transparent to the hotel guest and can be removed if requested by the guest. Please, no variation from this wording. If they want more info, tell them we will have to work on that for them. And here was the follow-up from a colleague at another one of these entities. Suggest he strikes second sentence. This charge is totally transparent to the hotel guest and can be removed if requested by the guest. All we are obligated for at this point, is sentence number 1.
So hide information from the citizen.
Now there was a follow-up reply by another one of these DMOs. I shall not name them, but I'll read you the reply. Given that we raise private dollars differently and at a different scale, and I will tell you that that scale, by the way, is substantive. Okay, this statement really won't work for us. Any and all suggestions are welcome. We have no intention of divulging the list of our private donors, as we need them again this year. So y'all just a bunch of donors. That's what you are.
But yet we saw on that list, and it just happened to be the one from Hilton Head. I mean, I have Charleston too. But they're listing their donors.
That actually, I know that Hilton Head did, which is interesting. And some of the other ones don't list their donors, quote unquote, but they list their methodology. They say, "Oh, this is how we're raising the money," and we're like, "Wow."
Also known as the secret sauce.
And they also included in their applications, they included their marketing plans, which heretofore they have claimed are confidential. Because, hey, if anybody knows that we buy ads in magazine and pay checks to Google to get on the internet, oh my God, we'll go out of business. Right. I mean, it's not really a secret how these monies are actually spent, because as you know, from having been on council, a lot of these monies, millions of dollars, are just spent on social media and advertising on some of the biggest websites, that do promotions. So they're really just the middleman. I mean, I presume that you'd probably do the job for, less than 6 figures if you're just writing checks to Google and Facebook and things like that, right? So
what are they saying here locally? We heard, we saw the document that Ariana Pernice submitted, and They don't want to FOIA it, and I used to battle with them publicly. I mean, I called Bill Miles and the rest of them out. Hey, I want to see, we're giving you money. I want to see where it's going. No, you can't do that. Now we see it because you FOIA'd it, and
Right.
by golly, they're used to it. So what else what are they saying here locally?
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say stay tuned because, we are dogged folk. And, we pull threads and, we love pulling threads because how public money is spent is our greatest concern.
Hmm.
And it has to be spent properly and wisely, transparently, and with accountability. That is the position. I'll never deviate from that position.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the goal here, not to do anything but go by what the documents tell us.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why when you see me, what do I come with, right? Handfuls of documents, right?
Loads of
documents. And again, consider it a public service to let people know that they need to check their hotel bills and their tickets. They buy concert tickets and things like this because this new rule applies to those, specifically to those two things. And I would advise that if they're having trouble at the desk, that they ask the manager of the property to check it out and to be mindful of what has been said about these fees. And again, I want to make it clear that this is a nationwide problem.
Absolutely.
South Carolina. And anybody with a computer or a phone could go online and say, hotel fee cases in the United States, and you'll come up with a whole bunch of stuff. As you know, that one from Washington, D.C., that article that I sent you.
You want me to put that up?
I don't want to talk about that
Okay.
tonight. I'm going to leave that for you to kind of detail because that's not something we're working on. Yeah. But I wanted to make you aware that it was a nationwide thing, and that's just one really good example.
So
a public interest group that's really taking this on for the benefit of people who travel, citizens who travel. And so they're really going to bat for us. And I do appreciate that.
So since this is a nationwide thing, and I've read multiple times that, all 50 attorneys general have signed on or whatever, have you all spoken with the Attorney General's office of South Carolina about this? And, typically this is something that at least in my lifetime, it's been go away. We don't really want to talk about that.
Go away.
That's too much dirtiness. Is Alan Wilson's office actually paying attention, or do you even know? I don't know.
Oh, I actually couldn't say that. We haven't had any intersection with the AG's office on this, but I will say, though I can't say who, we have had intersection with another state agency that has expressed great interest. So I will say that that's very positive.
And this is not a new subject, Mayor. I mean, this has been going on. I mean, I can really only speak to it since 2015, 16.
Right.
And it's been front and center about, and it's always the Chamber of Commerce and CVBs and all of these forms of money that just keep flowing like it's unbelievable the amount of rivers of money that flow into these places. It's amazing.
Yeah. And it would be delightful to get more clarity, I'll say that, on, well, I should say that these applications have provided a great deal of clarity.
Mm-hmm.
They're a real boon if you're looking to see, some of them have their bank accounts, and you get a lot of really good information. So I would just say that this is merely chapter 1 of this particular story, and probably will be able to update you hopefully sooner rather than later. And I do have an update for you on that FOIA case.
Sure.
The first time I was on the show, if anybody's interested to know, I was able to get a goodly amount of documents, some that I did not get. But I would still call it a win because, well, I didn't get everything I wanted. The county did not get everything they wanted. So that case finally concluded, but that was like a 5-year battle.
Wow.
You really have to be in it for the long haul.
Yeah, you've been the tip of the spear with doing it. I know I've learned. I mean, I learn every day we chat. So kudos to you. Hats off to you.
Thank you.
I'm not
Stay
worthy
tuned, everybody.
We're not worthy to be in your presence because you are the master.
Hopefully, a follow up on this issue with a little bit more broad strokes is going to be coming, and you will be the first place that I'm going to be talking to. So I thank you so much for spending some time with me and discussing this. It's important.
Likewise, my friend Mayor Deckard here with us on the House of Card. Good
night, Mike.
All righty.
Bringing you the best selection of hits for your listening pleasure.
Yeah, so let's get into it.
BigPatriotRadio.com.
You know, it really is amazing when, I mean, people during your everyday, I mean, just people who, you know, wake up, they go to work, they come home, they fix dinner, they take, you know, they watch TV, they go to bed, they take the kids to school, the soccer practice, and blah, blah, blah. You just don't, it's not part of life to sit there and go, where's all my money going? Fees and shit like that. But when you start, you know, there are some people who do that, you know, that's what they do. That's their thing. And I remember when I started on county council and really started getting into this, I was like, what the hell is this? Why are these fees? And this tax goes to the hotels and this tax goes over here, and they can apply for this more money in the state, more money, and they want matching funds and more money. And they're, you know, locally they were, you know, selling ads, which is against the law. I mean, they're competing with their own members. It's a unbelievable. And I'm just going to call it what I've called it since 2016. If that's not a scam, I don't know what is. I mean, that is what it is. You know, I would be okay, you know, if I'm paying $200 a night for a hotel room, okay? But when you go to check out and you've got all this hard math, and they've added all these different taxes and all these different fees, and you end up paying $275 a night, I would rather them say it's $275 a night plus tax, end of story. Gasoline, as Mayor was saying, you know, is, what is it, $2.75, $3 a gallon. That includes tax. I know what I'm paying. If it was $3 a gallon plus a resort fee and a convenience fee and a this fee and a credit card fee and a that fee, and you end up paying $3.50 a gallon, I would be torqued. So why do the hotels and the CVBs and that industry, it's just very dirty. It's just very slimy and dirty. Why do they get away with it? And they get away with it everywhere. I mean, there's been documented cases across the country. I mean, it's just, terrible. All right. We're going to bring in our next guest. Let's go ahead and see where he is. He's back here somewhere. Ladies and gentlemen, join me, Councilman Tom Reitz. How are you, sir?
Good, sir. How are you?
If I was doing any better, my name would be Tom Reitz.
Oh, my word. I appreciate that. That's very nice.
Anytime I get to talk about taxes and hotels and CVBs, I just get all excited.
Oh, I was listening, and it's incredible.
Tom, Thanksgiving, good for the family, everybody?
Incredible. The two new grandkids, well, 2.5-year-old Ella Ray and the 4-month-old Scotty, great. And my mom was here. She was 94. So we had a 4-month-old to a 94-year-old, and it was a wonderful time.
How many generations is that?
Well, listen, I'm not great with math, but that's 4 generations, right?
Wow.
That's pretty neat.
That's good, buddy.
We're blessed.
Tom, let's jump right into it. I have a couple of, or I have a set of questions for you, and a couple of articles we may look at, may not. Let's do that, and then I'm going to give you all the time you need. If you want to make a statement or you know, whatever, we'll do that. But I want to go through some things first. Is that good?
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
And for folks who, if you have been under a rock for the last year, back in August, right?
September, I think. Yeah.
August, September, whatever.
Yep.
Tom was Councilman Reitz was at the center of a investigation by the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office because he went into the detention center here locally to visit an inmate, and we'll get into the particulars of that. The jail, the detention center, never asked for cell phones or this and that. And anyway, the long and the short is, all of a sudden, the sheriff's office and the county starts wanting to investigate Tom for these horrendous crimes of bringing in, paraphernalia into the jail when the guy has probably never had a speeding ticket in his life. The last thing he's going to do is go into a detention center to see someone with malice. So anyway, hold on one second. Let me find your paperwork.
Okay.
Yours is heavy, so I had to put it somewhere else. All right. And folks, again, we have had Tom on here several times. We've talked about this at great length. I can tell you, as someone who studies this, this is just a, I don't know what the word is I want to use, Tom. This is a catastrophe and an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. I'm sure you were embarrassed. I mean,
Yes,
I would be. But this is an embarrassment for Beaufort County. This is an embarrassment for the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office. This is an embarrassment for the Beaufort County Detention Center. So anyway, what I have is 45 pages, I guess it is, 43 to 45 pages of the incident report from the sheriff's office. There's a couple of, let me get to the lines. Tom, in one of the supplements to the incident report, and what I'm looking for is this a true statement or is this a false, are you lying through your teeth, whoever said this, or is it just inaccurate? We just want some clarity. Because there were some articles coming out in two different papers, Island Packet, Beaufort Gazette, and Fitz News, that quite frankly I think were egregious and slightly inaccurate with some things they said about you. This supplement says that Mr. John Robinson, Assistant County Administrator, said that the councilman used your position as a council member to visit in person with an inmate. Is that true?
Absolutely not.
Have you ever used your influence as a county councilman to, whether it's to see an inmate or maybe get a discount on bubble gum or free tickets to the fair?
No, sir. Never would. It never even crossed my mind.
In this supplement, and this is written by Captain Brian Baird. I assume he was the investigator. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
It says that you provided a letter requesting, Mr. Robinson provided a letter requesting investigative assistance from the sheriff's office after you went to the detention center and requested to meet with Colonel Condara Grant, the director. Mr. Reitz then requested to conduct a visit with Mr. Hoagland, who was the inmate, in the facility. And your form of identification was your Beaufort County Council logo shirt and the lanyard around your neck. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I was wearing that stuff to go to a meeting that same day at 1:00. It was a workshop with the rest of the council and staff that day at the Arthur Horn building, right on the same campus as the detention center.
Understood. Yes. Mr. Robinson goes on to say that you were allowed to meet in person with this inmate and was unsupervised. Was that at your request?
No, I actually went in as just a normal citizen. I didn't ask for any special favors. I didn't call anybody ahead of time to get a favor to go in. I went in to signed up as a normal citizen would to go see an inmate. And I went through all the procedures that the gentleman The young fella put me through, listened to everything he had to say, and followed his direction the whole entire way, which that video showed.
So suffice to say, they were doing investigation on possible wrongdoing by this county councilman. Ooh.
Yeah.
But they didn't, until I get to it here, there really wasn't a whole lot of talk publicly about maybe the detention center screwed up. Anyway.
Yeah,
the correction officer you first saw was Specialist DaCosta.
Yes.
I understand he was working like at the front door desk, so to speak.
Correct. As you walk in the front door, he's right behind that glass.
You went in the front door, or did you go in the back door or the special counsel door?
Walked right through the front door.
Okay. Did you ask to talk to Colonel Grant?
I did just wanted to say hello out of courtesy. Yes.
Okay. And then he says you asked to visit with inmate Hoagland. Sound
correct?
Appropriate?
Yes.
Correction specialist DaCosta says that he asked you if you were doing a legal visit and if you had ever done a legal visit before. Is that a fair statement? And if so, what does that mean?
You know, Mike, I got to tell you, I've heard that now a couple of times. I read it in the report. I have the same report you have. I don't recall ever this guy asking for a legal visit. If it is a legal visit, he never asked me for my bar card, which I've learned from counsel that if it is a legal visit, you have to present a bar card, which I never knew about until that report.
Now, you know, I'm in my little brain. The specialist said, "Is this a legal visit?" Now, does that mean a lawyer legal visit, or is this like a legal, you're allowed to do this? Did he ever explain? I mean, the words take on different meanings. Has any of that ever been explained to you?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Did he ask you if you were a lawyer?
No.
Okay. You don't have a bar card.
No, sir, I don't. Maybe the local legends, but not there.
Officer or whatever, Specialist DaCosta says in his statement that he picked up a wand and he wanded you, like at the airport, kind of getting wand. Is that fair and accurate?
Mike, I know he had a wand, but he did not wand me. No.
Okay. Yeah, he claims that he wanded or whatever. I don't know the terminology, the right English for that, but he claimed he did it the front and the back. Now, I know from seeing the video, I could see a cell phone in your back. I believe it was left pocket. I could see it from the grainy video, plain as day. You weren't attempting to hide that telephone, were you?
No, sir. As a matter of fact, when I was started with the DaCosta officer, I actually took my phone out of my pockets. Both phones were dinging a number of times. And
that's right.
You can see on the video that I had them in and out and put them back in. I had a lanyard on. I had a wallet. I had keys, like a lanyard hanging out of my pocket, a lanyard with a badge on the front, a backpack on. Just everything was clearly visible.
In this report, Captain Baird does say that he asked this specialist, DaCosta, about the cell phone. And again, if I could see it on a grainy video, I mean, I could see it plain as day. The officer said he never saw it. That is, to me, that is a problem that needs to be looked at on the detention center side, not the Tom Reed's individual side.
I agree with you, Mike.
There's some claims made in this incident report numerous times that you were standing in front of a no phone allowed, or you walked right past no cell phones allowed, all these different signs. I don't remember when I toured the facility, whether they're there or not. I mean, do you remember seeing them?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Not even close.
If there were signs, and I'm sure there are other signs, about, I don't know, no guns allowed. Wait for your, go this, go left, go right. I know there's a judge around the corner somewhere. I'm sure there's all kind of stuff. I mean, I could see where someone who doesn't make a regular habit of going to jail may not know the whole deal.
Mike, two things. Number one, that was my first time ever visiting an inmate in jail. Secondly, I think you know me for a number of years now. I'm a people person. We talk, we're eye to eye, like we are now. I'm not looking around for anything. And I'm telling you, I did not see a sign. They say it was right in front of me. I saw Officer DaCosta, this dark glass, and that was it. And it was very little communication with him as well. So again, not much.
You were either in front of or passed by or behind you several officers. And it looks to me that, it's not just DaCosta who, and again, there's video of you walking down the hall or the corridor or whatever, even into the inmates, the cell.
Yes,
the phone, you could see that phone, and I don't remember seeing anyone say, or even in this document, that, hey, no cell phones allowed. It's referred to in there that the assumption was up, but did anybody ever say anything to you other than the one gentleman that I don't know his name off the top of my head, who said you couldn't be in the cell? Correct.
That was it. Other than that, I walked out of the cell, put the phone back in my pocket, wasn't asked for the phones. Just normal.
As you were going past, or when you were finished with DaCosta was finished with you, and you were to go into the jail, there are a couple of doors, if I remember right.
Yeah.
How did you get through those doors?
Well, I initially, I think we went over this a little bit the last time, as that officer took me through the one side, another hand came out this little bit of a window with a key, and I was supposed to take that key. I didn't even realize it at the time. To get in. And in my first attempt, I went to open that big door to get in, and I didn't know how to get that key back to that window in time before the door shut, and I didn't. And somebody yelled through that window, "Take the key with you." So I did, went through that door, went to the right, and I saw another little window where I actually left it, which you could see in the video as I entered the jail. I actually put that key back there, and that was the way. I mean, no escort. I had the keys. And then I put it back on that little opening window on the inside. So again, it was all new to me, and it was kind of goofy.
So I took some heat for saying this, but it sounds to me, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds to me like they gave you the key to the jail.
That was the only way I was going to get in, Mike. They actually yelled through that window, "Take the key with you and go through that big door to get into the jail." And that's the only, and that's on the video. You could see that. So you're not saying anything that's inaccurate.
Yeah. Okay. And there's a couple of times. Well, actually, there's more than a couple. Audio wasn't available, or I mean, the system there is ultra shitty. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
I'm shocked, Mike. To be honest with you, with the money that this council, you're on council for a number of years, and you appropriated money to the jails, to detention. I am absolutely astonished to this moment that they have not released that video, because it talks so much about my approach and the fact that I'm doing it as a friend. His wife is upset. She's sick at home. He's not going to make it through the weekend. He's sick. Again, I just don't understand why that video or the audio is not released.
So you had a backpack, as you normally carry.
Yes,
you were going to, and you had that because you were going to county business after this visit, correct?
Oh yeah, we had a 1 o'clock workshop, and it went for several hours, couple hours, 4 or 5 hours.
So I remember I had to. I want to say they put I had a case, kind of a backpack. They put it. I want to say it was in a locker, but they secured it when I went there for a visit.
Yes,
a tour. Excuse me. They didn't do that to you. They put yours behind the smoked glass.
That Officer DaCosta came out. He said, I can let you in, but I need your backpack. I gave it to him, and he put it right in that little office area that he was in working from. And I learned after the fact, too, that it should have been in a locker locked up as well.
Then they gave you the keys and let you meander at will.
Yeah, listen, my wife says something to the effect that You were like on the campaign trail saying hello to people and, but Mike, I was nervous in there. There was no, listen, I'd never been in there to visit an inmate. It wasn't nice. Again, just very crazy situation.
So during the event, which on that day, there was at some point, I think it was Major Robinson, who was interviewed by Captain Baird, eventually said that she had spoke with Colonel Grant, and Colonel Grant said she didn't authorize you to conduct a visit, but she did contact John Robinson, County Assistant Administrator,
right,
to quote, come to the facility to deal with the councilman. Do you find that a little strange? I mean, I'm taking Captain Baird for what he's word for word. He says the facility to deal with the councilman. Were you creating a ruckus?
There was no ruckus, and you could see that the whole video of me in there, there was no ruckus. The video when I came out and I met Colonel Grant, who was sitting down, and John Robinson was standing up, it was, hey, how you doing? What are you doing here? I was surprised to see him there, no doubt.
In this report, getting a little out of chronological order, but Captain Baird spoke with Sarah Brock. Sarah Brock is the clerk to County Council. She, in her report, or her whatever you want to call it, I guess report, she said that you had tried to contact Colonel Grant, was unavailable. She said Councilmember Reitz then said Hoagland is in poor health, not doing well. She said Skip's wife asked you to deliver medication to Skip. So that was one of the reasons for the visit, was to deliver medication to Hoagland, and that he did deliver it to him. That's a quote from the report from Captain Baird, according to quotes from Sarah Brock. Why did Sarah Brock say that you did deliver medication and that you did do that as one of the reasons to go see Hoagland?
No idea. That's completely inaccurate. I don't know where that came from. I just went in to see if there's anything we could do to help him, to find out what he needed. As a matter of fact, one of the pictures I took in there was of his medication that he needed, so we can work on it when we get out of there. Totally inaccurate.
Okay. It's mentioned multiple times to, and I understand why Baird did it. I completely understand, but it's mentioned multiple times. It's alluded to a couple of times, talking about this, whether Reitz did or did not bring medication to Hoagland, and was or was not Reitz asked to by his wife. And for, once and for all, were you, or did you bring medicine, over the counter, prescription, illegally bought on the street, or manufactured at your house? Did you bring any medication to Hoagland or any other inmate?
No, sir, not at all.
Okay. You were, it was alluded at the beginning that Mr. Hoagland had made 129, 100, whatever it was, phone calls for his few days being in there. And I happen to have a copy of some of those phone calls. But, Tom, it looks like to me he called you twice.
Yes, sir. They try to make that out early on, that he had all those calls to me, which completely bogus. And you can see the record that it was 2 times, as you said.
I'm looking at it right here. And folks, this is all FOIA-able.
Yes,
if that's a phrase. Some of the phone calls, all of the phone calls that he made to other people, I'm not concerned with, because there's things in there that don't have anything to do with you.
Yes,
and that's the thing at hand here. So you weren't called 129 times. Looks to me like you were called twice. What was the intent of Hoagland's couple calls that he made to you?
Just wanted to see if I can help get him out of there. He had trouble walking. As a matter of fact, one of the calls, I think I only took one. He called me twice, but I believe I took one of his calls. He talked about how he was going to he either missed it that day or the next day. He was supposed to be at the Mayo Clinic to get shots in his knees because he's getting 2 knee replacements. So again, he was complaining that he wouldn't make it through the weekend. He can't sit. He can't walk well. Just, his poor health.
So again, not to go down the rabbit holes with all of that, because it's in here. A lot of rabbit holes.
Oh, yeah.
As far as Tom Reitz is concerned, you weren't asked to bring any drugs. You didn't bring any drugs. It goes into length here that Hoagland said, I'll pay for your campaign or things to that nature. And what did you say to Hoagland when he made those financial promises?
I said, no, you don't have to say that. And Mike, you and I went over this last time. And I think anybody that knows me, even to an inkling, knows that I would do this for anybody. I would help anybody. Now, listen, I made some mistakes here without a doubt. I love working for the people. I'm glad to get back to it and do an awful lot of things that we're doing, which you'll find out as we get going for the re-election. But my thing is to focus on the people. I don't pick and choose. However, there's no doubt I learned a lesson with this one and I would do things differently.
Understood. And nobody has ever said, at least on this show, that you are, crystal clean, because you did in fact take paraphernalia, 2 cell phones, into a secure detention center.
Keys, wallet, everything.
Yeah, even though they let you in and gave you the damn key.
Yes, sir.
Moving forward, you were interviewed by Baird at the sheriff's office on Hilton Head. Eventually, they served you and wanted your cell phones, and I think they made you give them to them in the lot of a Mexican restaurant on Hilton Head.
Java burrito. Yes, sir.
Which is amazing. But in this report from Captain Baird, he says, additionally, Mr. Reitz has never asked to have his cell phones returned to him or contacted Beaufort County Sheriff's Office about his cell phones. Mr. Reitz used his position as a county councilman to have an in-person visit with this inmate, something that is restricted to lawyers, law enforcement, and certain types of mental health counselors. Is that accurate?
Yeah, well, let me start with the cell phones. I made it clear to Officer Baird and the gentleman with him, and I have the utmost respect for our police and all, as you know, that I needed those phones back right away because, remember, he took my county phone and my personal phone. At that time in the parking lot, he said to me that it's going to take him a day or two, but he's going to bust into these phones and get what they want. I said, well, golly, you got a warrant here. Why would you bust into my phones? I actually gave him both PIN numbers and showed him how to open the phone so there's no issues. And I told him I need those to do my work for the people, and I wanted them right away. So, I'm not sure where Officer Baird gets off talking that way, but listen, I guess that they're allowed to do that.
And did you ever ask for the phones back?
Okay. Oh, many times, and even you can even check with our attorneys. Our attorneys reached out to them. They didn't get answers back either. But my cell phones were seized on September 5th, and the phones were not returned to me until September 26th. Those are the dates, and those are facts. So again, I don't say anything that's not factual.
And it looks like, from me, and not the math man, but in this report, it looks like within 48 hours, they were done. They had every piece of data they needed off your phones, but yet they kept them that long. Very strange. What about that last sentence? Mr. Reitz used his position as a county councilman to have an in-person visit, blah, blah, blah. Is that a fair statement, an accurate statement?
Well, it's 100% false. It's 180 degrees. As a matter of fact, if you look in this report that they filed officially that you have, Colonel Grant even says that I didn't even call her. I didn't request any favors. I didn't ask John Robinson. I didn't ask anybody. I went as a normal citizen and said, I'm here on behalf of the Hoagland family, Kathy Hoagland. She's upset. Her husband's not going to make it. Can I see him? And if I can't see him before 1 o'clock because I have a meeting at the Arthur Horn building, I'll come back whenever. I'll do it whatever way you want. I never once asked for a favor. Not once. And that's clear in the audio.
Yeah. it goes into detail a couple times again about you using your office. That you had a shirt on, a backpack on, a lanyard, a business card, all county council plastered all over it. Did they ever ask you for your driver's license? I mean, that's form of identification right there. Did they ever ask for that?
Absolutely not. And I find that incredible. Listen, they assumed a lot, but again, I can't read somebody's mind, so again, I'm shocked with what took place. Mike, think about it. Think about this for a half second. It's just hit me now, and I may get in trouble for this, but is it possible God put me here for a reason, that we're gonna come up with these issues, and we're gonna clean up this procedure, and so this doesn't happen. From what I'm hearing, there's an awful lot of issues with the detention center and things getting in there. So I don't know if that is the case. Maybe this was a reason I was put here. I don't know.
Well, I happen to agree with you. I mean, things happen and we can't explain them. And this very well may be.
I don't know.
Because, here's my think on this. And I want you to, I want to give you all the time you want to say what you need to say. Yes, Tom Reitz made a boo-boo by carrying his cell phones into the secured facility. Understood. I'm right there with it. I understand it. And I think you understand it.
Yes, sir.
The rest of the story is a complete foobar on the back of the Beaufort County Detention Center, giving you the keys, walking ad nauseum, at your desire, going into the cell, blah, 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 blah. It's not that all this other fringe stuff that I see talked about, they failed. And you know what? You said it right there yourself about, is this something else happening for another reason? Let's think about this. If Tom Reitz got in there, and again, I have no doubt you had no malice. You had no ill intention, strictly doing God's work, talking to a civilian, a human, because his wife thought he was fixing to die.
Yep.
But let's just say if you were able to do that, who else could do that and cause a safety concern for the community at large? I mean, if people can come in, people can also get out.
Mike, as I looked at that video, I was shocked as well. I had lanyards, keys, wallets, 2 phones dinging, talking to this guy, taking a break from that. Not only was there no malice intent, I'm telling you, I was going 100 miles an hour that day to get to meetings, see if I can see Skip and all. Again, Mike, something that I really want to focus on just for a brief moment is that
the time is yours. You talk what you say, what you need to say.
Listen, this is the people's time. And I tell you right now, the folks that stepped up, that showed up, that still to this day reach out to me and say, hey, this article came out. Please, it's a lot of nonsense. They're just trying to stir up. And, I'm told by a dozen people here today and yesterday that these articles are coming out now because they want to profile. They want to go against me in June for a primary. So, again, there's a lot of reasons for all this stuff. But most importantly, think about this. People stepped up. They put their necks on the line for this humble councilman, this humble person. And I'm grateful for that. So I'm here to say that I love what I do, serving the people. I think we're doing a lot of very good things in combination with a lot of people, a lot of teamwork, and things are being done that this county's never done before, which you're going to find out about during re-election. And some people already know a lot because they've been part of it, our community. But Mike, I'm telling you now, I want to thank everybody that has stepped up with me, for me. I've been told by many people, get your head together. You made a mistake and just move on and don't let it happen again. And trust me, I respect that. Again, I love what I do for the people.
Why, these 2 articles, and I'm referring to Fitz News and then Island Packet / Beaufort Gazette.
Yeah.
Have they reached back out to say, we hear Covert going bananas on this. Maybe we need to reassess. Is there any communication, or where is all that?
Mike, you listen, right before I think we got on here, I was talking to Chris and my wife, and I said, man, why hasn't Chloe or any of these people reached out to me? I've never refused them any face-to-face or questions. In this particular time, both Fitz and Island Packet, not once did they reach out to me. And again, I'd love to talk to them, but there's got to be reasons for this.
Got to be. All right, real quick, let's talk about re-election. Yes, you are right. You're going to be coming into, in a matter of weeks, the primary trail is going to start. And yes, I have heard rumblings that there's, a group or a very small group on Hilton Head that, does not like the work that you've done. They don't like the fact that you have done. You have made stormwater management on Hilton Head a complete success.
Priority.
After decades of being a joke. When a piss rain happens, Hilton Head on the south end, the Palmetto Bay area, all down through there would flood. I mean, it's like downtown Savannah. Not anymore.
Mike, there's a lot to work still to be done, but we made it a priority. People now talk about it. They wake up at night and they're talking and thinking stormwater. I made that a priority since last August of Storm Bevy, and I'm proud of that. But I'm also proud of the fact that many other people, Sea Pines on out, are holding stormwater meetings now that they've never done. So my thing is that's great, whether they give me credit or not. But I just want to read something to you as well, just let you think about something back to the investigation. Officer Baird, and I think I can quote him. If the BCDC personnel would have followed their own policies and procedures, this entire incident would not have happened. I mean, that's in that official report.
There you go.
So again, I'm not passing the buck. I gave him a layup here, foolishness. But again, I did everything I was told to do by this Officer DaCosta every step of the way. And I'm looking forward to that voice recording to be released. I really am. I think that would really rock it. You want to talk about leadership? John Robinson, I maybe shouldn't mention his name, but I think he's done all the training for these folks over there. Where's all that? Why isn't that being priority one?
That's his purview. He's in charge of it.
It's amazing stuff, but boy, I got to tell you that, people are paying attention. There's a lot of people all over paying attention to this. So we'll see what happens.
So real fast, just to change subjects for you. We have some folks from north of the Broad, or actually a lot of folks watching right now. We understand that there is at your next council meeting next Monday night, there's going to be a vote to rescind the last Pine Island vote. I don't understand. How is that even possible when I think legally it can't be touched for a year? How's that going on?
I'm going to say there's a councilman that is going to make a motion to reopen that, I believe. So my thing is I'm learning a lot. We're getting a lot of information in now. I know something's going to take place Monday on that. And we'll just go. But I think what it's going to be is just to get the information out there. A lot, that September 22nd marathon thing that we had that lasted until about, I think it was 2:47 in the morning. They never got to any of the information that people wanted, the builder wanted people to see. So again, we're going to learn a lot together Monday. Actually look forward to it. To see what they can do. But you're right. I think there was supposed to be a year gap in between. But I think if council makes a motion of some kind and it's seconded, it has to be looked at. We're going to learn this together.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've got people looking into it right now, and I want to make sure everything is legal, and we'll be watching. Rest assured, we'll be watching.
Mike, listen, a couple of quick things. One more thing on the investigation. I think that's going to be put to bed is that, even in the report, I think Officer Baird talks about this, there's insufficient evidence for any criminal charge at this time to move on. So I think that's great. But back to your point, and Mike, you were on council before, and I know you've done a number of good things when you're on council, but when you look at green space and what we've done there. This county is leading 46 counties in this state to protect and preserve property. It's incredible what we've done in the short period of time since we have that Tom Davis Penny green space thing.
Right.
The St. James Church with the move of that property, the work that we've done after many, many years. I think this started in 1975 with an accident on that site. Here we are with Mr. Ford leading the way from that church, leading us in a way that we are now making some great progress. That's ready to go. Things have been done. A lot of appropriations have been made for furniture and all. Beaufort Memorial, Novant, MUSC, the work that we are doing for our medical retention of nurses. The last week or week before, I was at a groundbreaking South End Island for a Beaufort Memorial urgent emergency care center. Never been on the South End. It's going to help an awful lot of people. This councilman here from day one, I've been trying my darndest to get restaffing at 539 William Hilton Head Parkway, our government center there, where they had the assessor, the auditors, everything.
And they shut it down.
Just to get restaffed with caseworkers for mental health to help our kids. There is so many offices that are missing now that these people on the island still pay those taxes, yet they got to go over the bridge to get the same services they had for many years. And I'm not stopping until we get those services back here. And again, you think about it, you look at the retirees and you look at the older folks like me, right? Why do we want all these people on the roads? Infrastructure, we talk about hurting our infrastructure too much, right? If we had these services back here that have been paid for and are still being paid for, many of these people wouldn't have to be on the road going to Bluffton or Beaufort to do what they did here for years. So listen, some people want to focus on a detention center matter that they made the mistakes. By all means, I want to stay with the facts and serve the people. And that's one of the big things I want to get done.
Yeah. Hey, valid point. I agree with you. And I agree with you also that, hey, the Beaufort County Sheriff's Department, I support them 110%.
Yes, sir.
I think Sheriff Tanner even said this entire thing was a blunder, not to quote him, but I think that's what the gist of it was. The whole thing was just horrible. Now, I do think that, they need to, somebody at the detention center, they need to be held accountable. They need to have intense training. If they need to, and I know they do, they need to reassess their audio visual security systems. We talked about that back in 2017 about change locks in that place are original. It's a joke. Anyway, Tom Reitz, County Councilman, District 11. Tom, I appreciate you as always. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you and the family.
Listen, Mike, I want to thank you always. You always step up. I appreciate it that so many people are watching that will watch your show. Again, I'm thankful to everybody. And Mike, thank you to you as well. Big time.
All right. Thank you, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's see what we got here right quick.
Let's go!
The station that keeps it rocking 24/7.
Ladies and gentlemen,
BigPatriotRadio.com.
All right. Be sure that's it for tonight. That is it. Holy cow. Thanks to Tom Reitz and Mayor Deckard for being on here. Look at your hotel bill. Just look at it. And tell them if you don't want to pay the resort fee or the marketing fee, they can't make you do it. So, I don't know what that value is, but if every one of us did that, think of all the people, look at the money that we saved. Tom Reitz again, County Councilman. What happened there at the jail? Yes, shouldn't have had the phone in there, but he shouldn't have been allowed in there in the first place with the keys. Major problem in the Beaufort County Detention Center. Be sure to tell your friends and neighbors. Tune in next week right here at 7 o'clock on Facebook, YouTube, and simulcasting on BigPatriotRadio.com. A couple of big stories coming out. We're going to have a live guest talking about functional medicine. What is that all about? You'll find out. And you can ask deeper questions about why. Don't forget, like the stream and share it. and send us some stars on Facebook. Remember to like the show. Until then, good night, everybody, and watch your six.